United lost their first game in France, but thanks to goals from two players who are no longer with the club, Ralph Milne and Tommy Coyne, got through by a single goal. United left it late against University Craiova from Romania in round 2, as we'll see in a moment, and although they lost 1-0 in a match which kicked off at 1:30, got through very comfortably. In the third round, United worked hard for a 2-0 win against Hajduk Split from Yugoslavia, and in one of their best performances of the season, soaked up a lot of pressure in the return leg to go through 2-0. 6 games played, 3 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. Barcelona, whose side cost a modest £10 million or thereabouts to assemble, found themselves in Albania for their first round, and were very glad of that away goal when they failed to score surprisingly in the second leg. In the second round, the away goals rule again put them through, losing 2-1 in Lisbon but getting through because of that vital goal. Their best performance certainly came in the third round, winning both home and away by the same margin against West German opposition to go through very comfortably. Played 6, won 3, drawn 1, lost 1. Well, let's take a look at a couple of those Dundee United matches, and the first leg tie against Craiova was a classic example of the need for patience, something you always need in Europe. For 75 minutes, United blasted away, couldn't score until Ian Redford stuck out his foot there, hooked it into the net, and it was 1-0. Then Rakolta, the goalkeeper, seemed to be keeping them out, and the big question was, would 1-0 be enough? Ball driven in again, Rakolta. Hamish McAlpine here nodding approval of a marvellous save. United chasing hard for a second goal, getting it from Big John Clark. He's very good at that sort of thing. And before the end, after fine play by Maurice Malpass with claims for offside, Redford was there to make it 3-0. Well, it's always nice to score in a European match, but to score your first goal for your club at the same time makes it a bit special. And that's what happened to Jim McInally in the third round, first leg tie against those veterans of European football, Hajduk Split. Here's a reminder. There's a cross, the keeper in trouble. A great chance, and it's a goal. An important breakthrough for Dundee United, and it couldn't have come at a better time. United pushing extra men in the box. The Sturrock does a quick about time, trying to get it to his right foot, trying to hook it across. Clark's there, and a goal! John Clark, 2-0. After a missed kick by Billy McKinlay. He really biffed it. What a beautiful goal. John Clark's contribution tonight, and we can tell the viewers now that Paul Hegarty is not in fact in the side, but will be on the substitutes bench. That's the big news, I think, from the ground. John Clark's contribution is going to be important because we saw him picking up a fair bit of stuff there at the edge of the box, Hamish. Yeah, he's got great shooting power. He's a big, strong lad, and he's also quite good in the air. He's got a lot of confidence from his run in the first team. He'd had a few games last year and the start of the season, but with the run he's had playing alongside Davy Neary, he's grown in confidence. He's now been able to drive forward and get into shooting positions as we saw the last goal there. And he's not fair to hit them, you know, 25, 35 yards. As I say, he's very, very strong. One of the things that Jim McLean was saying, Andy, beforehand was slightly tongue-in-cheek, because you know Jim, yes, was that he would probably devote a few minutes to talking about Barcelona, but would spend the rest of the time talking about how United will play. Do you think he was being oversimplifying it, or do you think he was perhaps that's the way he sees it?
I think he's pretty accurate with that, Jim. I think the most important thing is how United play. I don't think, and certainly I would agree with it, not to bother too much about Barcelona. I think United should try and will try and cause Barcelona as many problems as they can throughout the game, and not worry too much. I mean, obviously he will have made special provisions for the likes of Lineker and Hughes to combat that. I don't think he's gone into the game not talking about them at all. But certainly the majority of his talk to the team will be about what they're going to do, and getting everything that he's planned and everything that United have planned, getting that absolutely right on the night.
Lineker's performances as a striker, you know, have been quite astonishing. Anybody who scores 4 goals against Spain in Spain has got to be a bit special, but oddly enough, he hasn't actually scored a European goal yet, surprisingly.
That worries me slightly after tonight, because the lad's on such a high at the moment, as we've seen a couple of weeks ago against Spain, knocking in the 4 goals, and he's been knocking them in the Spanish league with monotonous regularity. He's got blistering pace, and it just worries me that he hasn't scored. If United can keep him out tonight, they'll have done a super job.
How do you see Lineker, you know, facing up to John Clark, perhaps, in almost a man-for-man marking situation tonight?
Obviously, it's going to be hard for John to start with. He might be worried a wee bit, but if he goes out and gets a good tackle in earlier on, or a good interception, that'll just do his confidence a world of good. the only thing they've got to do is obviously try and stop the supply of balls into the box. If United can stop, the midfield can stop the balls going in, he's always looking for scraps round about the box, round about the penalty spot. That's where it's going to be dangerous, you know. But I think 1-for-1, that'll be quite a good tussle, and hopefully John will come out on top.
Right, well, it's just about time to head for Tannadice, but before we go over to the ground, a comment from the man who has one of the best jobs in football, but equally one of the most demanding, Terry Venables of Barcelona. What sort of tactical match did he think it would be tonight?
Well, it depends on what the team is. They've got a lot of big names like Sturrock and Bannon and Neri and Hegarty if he plays. There's Malpass, who's obviously he's an international as well. They've got a lot of internationals, and they've got younger lads that have come in but have played for quite a long while, like Ferguson and Gallagher, who to me are exceptional young talents. And I think that there's going to be not one or two players to look out for. I think that the whole team, you know, is stacked with quality players.
Well, that's a fair summary from Terry Venables, and of course he's been pretty modest because he's got some pretty good names in his own lineup. Well, the atmosphere at Tannadice, as you can see now, is beginning to build up. It's a sellout crowd, of course. The match has been beamed live also to the northeast corner of Spain, and I think already in our commentary position are Jock Brown and Ian St John. We'll come to Jock Brown first, who of course saw that match on Saturday when Dundee United kept themselves in the championship race by winning 1-0 up at Pittodrie. Jock, it's the expected lineup, I think, first of all, for Dundee United, really, isn't it?
Yes, indeed, Arthur. No surprise at all in that United lineup, which performed extremely well, particularly in the second half against Aberdeen. Of course, there must have been some temptation to use the experience of Paul Hegarty, but manager Jim McLean decided not to do that. And there is confirmation of the lineup. The back four will be Holt, Clark, Neri and Malpass. We can expect Bannon, McInally and Redford in midfield, with Gallagher, Ferguson up front through the middle, and Paul Sturrock wide on the left. But they certainly looked very solid in the second part of the match on Saturday.
Now, Ian St John is with you, I think. Jock, good evening to you, Ian. Welcome back to Scotland.
Thank you very much, Al.
The whole of England, a week or so ago, as Andy Gray was saying, was going absolutely gaga over Gary Lineker. One headline, I think, described him modestly as the greatest striker in the world and the man who will lead England to World Cup glory. Typical modest English press.
Well, they do get carried away a bit, don't they?
A wee bit, yeah. But having said that, and Andy Gray is in agreement, he is obviously a fair player.
He's a super player, yes.
Yes. How do you see United coping with him, Ian?
Well, Andy was saying before, I was interested in what he was saying there, that he feels that Jim McLean probably has made some sort of plan to cope with him. I feel that, you know, the ball over the top from the halfway line, if Lineker gets a chance to run away from any defence in the country, you know, he'll do it. I mean, he's so sharp at getting away from him. So I think United have got to be very careful that they don't leave themselves open to that. And that's why tonight I thought they might play with a sweeper, you know, and have a man-for-man marking system on Hughes and Lineker and somebody sweeping. But we'll have to wait and see when the game starts if that is going to be the plan.
Back to you, Jock, and I think the big news from the Barcelona camp is that the hugely talented Victor is back, having missed Saturday night's shock 4-0 home defeat, I think, because of suspension. He's in the side, I think, isn't he?
Munoz Victor plays wearing number 5, Arthur, and indeed, as you say, a crucial man, the captain of the Barcelona side. They missed him badly, obviously, at the weekend when they lost 4-0 to Sporting Gijón. He's had more than 40 caps for Spain, and they cost £450,000 5 years ago from Real Zaragoza. So there's confirmation that Victor is in the side. Despite wearing 5, he'll play right in the middle of the field, the key man in there. The back four should be Gerardo, who will be very cold tonight. He likes to play with gloves and tights when it's cold, and it certainly is cold tonight at Tannadice. Migueli will be the left back. The centre back should be Manolo and Moratalia, with Victor joining Roberto Calderi in midfield, with Carrasco wide on the right and Lineker and Hughes through the middle. That should be the anticipated lineup. I'm surprised about the question of a sweeper being considered tonight. I think that John Holt might be able to offer that, despite wearing number 2, if the Spaniards don't play a man wide in the left attacking there, because he can come across to help John Clark and David Neri, I think, the central defenders. And it'll be very interesting too, Arthur. I think that we've got John Clark at centre half, and his pace really is very deceptive indeed. He's a very quick, big defender, and that might be very important against a player like Gary Lineker.
Well, the flags are hanging limply there at Tannadice, as we can see. Conditions, according to Hamish, as he drove down, were absolutely perfect for football. I'm sure you'll agree with that. Just before the teams come out, Jock, I'm going to ask all of you, really, what you think is going to happen. And I'm going to start with Andy Gray, who's sitting beside me in the studio. Andy, a quick forecast as the teams get ready to come out. I'm
going to plump for Dundee United. I think that the record of in European soccer at Tannadice is absolutely exemplary, and I'm going to go for them to carry on in that vein and plump for United.
Hamish, yourself?
Yes, exactly the same. I'm pretty confident they'll get a good result tonight. As long as they don't let Barcelona score, that'll be probably one of the main things. The away leg goal is very important.
What about you, Saint? How do you feel with those two forecasts?
Well, I'm a little worried the fact that Barcelona have scored in all their away ties so far in this competition, and I feel it could be a very, very tight one tonight, and I'd be worried about them scoring a goal.
Well, if United can prevent that happening, Ian, obviously that will be very important.
Sure.
Right, the atmosphere is building up nicely. We're going to settle down here in the studio and share it all with you and our viewers at home. So for commentary on the first half of this game and the second half throughout the 90 minutes, it's over now, live for real, to Jock Brown.
Thank you, Arthur. And if there has been criticism in the past of the United fans not being very noisy, I think they can certainly be exempt tonight. They've made a tremendous amount of noise in the last half hour in the build-up to the match, and I'm sure that is not being lost on these United players. So there's David Neri and Munoz Victor, the respective captains. Now, the man in the middle there, you may recognise. The last time we saw him refereeing a Scottish side was when he handled Rangers against Borussia Mönchengladbach. That's Paolo Casarin from Italy. And you may recall that was rather controversial. There was a very savage tackle in the first minute of the match, which the Italian referee took no action about. So it will be very interesting to see how he reacts to this situation tonight. A very experienced official, though, now 47 years old, a FIFA man for many, many years, and two Italian linesmen, obviously, to support him. So it will be a very important element in the match. So Ian Ferguson asking the referee if it's a United kick-off, and that doesn't appear to be clear entirely yet. The Barcelona side waiting to start, keen to get on with it. There's Mark Hughes, who scored here for Manchester United when they played Dundee United a couple of seasons back. He's the youngest player in the Barcelona side at 23 years of age. So he'll be very anxious to make an impression. Not exactly the favourite player among the Barcelona supporters at the moment, with Gary Lineker clearly holding that title. And there is Lineker testing the ball right on the centre spot. The goalkeeper, Zubizarreta, has joined his colleagues to have a feel of the ball early on. So it'll be Barcelona to start the match. Marvellous sight, this Tannadice packed to capacity. A small contingent of Spanish fans inside the ground. But the noise coming for the moment from the men wearing the black and tangerine favours of Dundee United. So seconds to the off. There's that very expensive £5 million pairing. Mark Hughes and Gary Lineker ready to start the match when referee Casarin is satisfied that all the preliminaries have been carried out effectively. So still a little bit of a delay, and this cannot be suiting any of the players, I'm sure. It's always good to get the match started, and there we go. The game is underway, and Barcelona playing the ball all the way back to their goalkeeper, Zubizarreta, to give him an early touch of the ball, get him settled to the Tannadice conditions. And I fancy the opening 10 minutes may be very important indeed. If United can get off to a fast start, it will certainly do them no harm at all. And there is a free kick given straight away for that challenge by Mark Hughes. And referee Casarin, I just mentioned a moment ago that he was very lenient in the opening minutes at Ibrox for the Borussia Mönchengladbach match, but certainly having a stern word with Mark Hughes and giving the free kick to Dundee United. There's John Clark. The header was from Bannon. So Barcelona opening with just the two men, Hughes and Lineker, up front through the middle. There's John Holt lofting it forwards. That shouldn't pose any real problems for the Spanish defence with their big defenders. So Lineker with the layoff, he was bundled from the back a little by David Neri, and the free kick goes to Barcelona. David Neri's 59th European match tonight. The only Scotsman has played more often in European club competition is Billy McNeil. It's played forward by McGilly. The header by Neri. Ferguson coming back quickly to pick up the ball on the fence. He got the free kick for handball, and this is Polstark. And that's played away by Moratalia. Gallagher was hoping to get free on the right. But the United fans encouraged as the throw is quickly taken towards Sturrock. There's Gallagher. A perfect start for Dundee United. Ian Ferguson leads the celebrations. But the man who got the goal was young Kevin Gallagher. Look at this on the volley. Riding it beyond Zubizarreta into the far corner. And it's a dream start for United.
Well, to tell you, I don't think he actually tried to score. I think he was just trying to clear the ball across the face of the goal. Jock, it came off the side of his foot, and of course, the goalkeeper completely flat-footed, but a tremendous start for United.
Well, yeah, the score line that we did scarcely hope for such an early stage in the match. So 1-0 to Dundee United. And we're barely into the match at all. 2 minutes gone. There's the clearance from Alpass is blocked. That's Bannon favouring the left side of midfield in the early stages of the match. A handball decision goes against Barcelona. Well, now I wonder how the Spanish players will react to that opening burst from Dundee United. Very experienced, of course, and I mentioned Mark Hughes, the youngest player on the side at 23. And some very experienced internationals through the ranks. John Clark's free kick. Bannon didn't make it, and he's been penalised for the push. So the free kick will require to be taken again. The referee not happy with the streamers coming onto the field and wants things tidied up inside the Barcelona penalty box. And it will be a free kick which Gerardo, the right back, will take. Anxious to bring his goalkeeper into action again. So a slightly unusual formation for Dundee United in midfield, particularly early in the match. They've opened up with Jim McInally in the middle, Ian Redford on the right, there he is, heading clear, and Eamon Bannon on the left. So that's perhaps designed to confuse Terry Venables, the Barcelona manager, who's had United watched, of course, carefully before tonight's match. Came off Gerardo. McGilly playing it forward. That's Victor. Calderi goes down in the tackle with Bannon. This is McInally. And now Redford. Kevin Gallagher hugging the right touchline. Testing the pace of Manolo. Here's John Holt. Roberto stole it from him. Hughes plays it back. Good pass from Roberto. This is Gerardo. Now Victor. Bannon cut that out. The chase is on now for Sturrock. Moratalia is the defender with him. Appeared to be impeded, and the referee certainly thought so. He's given the free kick to Dundee United. So Paul Sturrock looking very lively indeed in the opening stages of the match. So an opportunity for John Clark to join the United attack from centre half. Sturrock sliding it in. McInally second to the ball on that occasion. This is Mark Hughes, tackled by Gallagher. On the far side is Calderi. That missed out Lineker, allowing Clark to pick it up for Dundee United. This is Redford. Now Holt. And there's Mark Hughes. Lineker begins a run. That's cut off by Neri. Holt sending a long ball forward. You have the impression that Jim McLean perhaps is doubtful about the pace of Manolo, the number 4 for Barcelona, certainly trying to exploit Kevin Gallagher on that flank.
Well, one thing standing out, I think, in the first 6 or 7 minutes, Jock, that United are certainly winning the tackles. You know, they seem to have more appetite at the moment for the game.
There's Paul Sturrock doing well again for United. Bannon on the left. cover was there for Barcelona. Calderi coming forward. Hughes seeing a lot of the ball in the build-up. This is Carrasco. We haven't seen anything of him so far in the match. Supported by Calderi. And a good save by Thompson. He had to be quick. Calderi testing Thompson at the near post. Well, now that's certainly a reminder for Dundee United that this is a very menacing Barcelona side. Calderi's been out through injury for much of the season, but looking very sharp on that occasion. Carrasco's corner. There's John Holt. Calderi again. Interception by Gallagher. Well, there certainly was space for Ian Redford had the ball remained in play. Victor challenged by McInally. Carrasco attempting the bike killer, but it's Redford for United. Now Gallagher. Moratalia going across. Sturrock's in the middle, so is Ferguson. And a firm clearance from Migueli. Redford fighting hard. Migueli coming to win it for Barcelona. Migueli again. Now Victor. Trying to get that beyond Malpass for the face of Lineker. This is Sturrock. A good header picked up by Ferguson. Sturrock again. Oh, brilliant play from Paul Sturrock. There's Gallagher. Well, Paul Sturrock at his best. And that's a splendid sight for Dundee United supporters. Going between these two defenders, flighting it across towards Gallagher. He couldn't quite get on the end of it.
But he certainly did the right thing there, you know, trying to find a man at the back post. And Sturrock looks very, very lively, doesn't he? You know, I heard that he played well jock up at Aberdeen at the weekend, and it's nice to see Paul Sturrock bang in form because, you know, if he plays as we know he can play, he'll give the Spaniards trouble.
Yes, right back in form, and that is very timely for United. There's John Clark's block, and now Bannon. Carrasco wins it from Bannon. Inside is Roberto. Firmly tackled by Redford. Malpass resisting the temptation to play it back to Thompson. Good header by Ferguson. Sturrock in space once again. Running out Gerardo. Well, a bit unlucky as Migueli kept his eye on the ball. That's a Barcelona throw on the near side. Gerardo's number 2. Here's Lineker. Now Victor. Lineker again. Back to Carrasco. Very patient build-up this from Barcelona. Carrasco heading for the byline, forcing Clark to turn that away for the corner kick. With some neat, intricate passing. And the Barcelona creative players on the right. So a corner kick for Dundee United to handle. Carrasco to take it, left-footed. Moratalia is right in the box. There's Billy Thompson. And once again, it's a Barcelona corner kick. 10 minutes of the match gone. A reminder for latecomers that Dundee United lead by 1-0. Kevin Gallagher, the scorer in the 2nd minute. It's a variation this time. The short one to Victor. That's John Clark's header. Still Barcelona keep the pressure on. Appeals for a foul throw, but Senor Casaran not interested. Good play by Victor and by David Neri. Victor again. Advantage allowed as Calderi tries the shot. Powerful left foot, Calderi. And he certainly has been involved in the play a great deal in the opening 10 minutes for Barcelona. Taking the pass square. Good refereeing as the advantage rule applied for Calderi to attempt the shot. Goes Moratalia. There's Calderi again. Manolo forced to play it back, and there's no question at all that these United players look very eager indeed. They've got off to a very fast start with the perfect boost in that early goal from Gallagher. David Neary standing his ground as Hughes came in. Victor's header. Hughes and Malpass together. Two very determined players. Throw goes to Barcelona. Here's Hughes. Now Victor. Across to the far side. The layoff was aimed for Carrasco from Manolo, but it's United now in the break. Here's Gallagher. Ferguson and Sturrock are up in support. Carrasco back checking. Still Kevin Gallagher. In the end, running out of space. That was good play by Carrasco in defence for Barcelona, holding up the young United striker. Here's Manolo. Lots of time now for Neary. Holt just out of position as the ball came back, and John Clark taking no chances with the pass back to Billy Thompson. The header on was by Sturrock, but he had no support in that situation.
You're right enough, Jock, about Holt coming into cover and make three at the back, because that's the way that that United are playing. They're making sure that they've always got the extra man there. It's 3 against 2 defensively.
Well, the referee wants that taken again, and in fact it's a Dundee United decision. Victor will have to leave that to Eamon Bannon. That's a very interesting tussle developing on the near side of the field. Eamon Bannon, number 9, on the left side of midfield for Dundee United, and Victor in right midfield for Barcelona. There's McInally. It's all a bit tight in the corner there, and Ian Ferguson trying to open play out. It's too far ahead of Gallagher. John Holt's header, collected by Carrasco. He's been given a roving commission by Barcelona. Carrasco, the pass back by Moratalia had to be accurate.
Well, Carrasco's a very good player, but when I watched him before in games, he's always played sort of on the right-hand side, Jock. So it's interesting tonight that, as you say, he seems to have a roving commission, and at the moment he's wide on the left.
This is Gerardo. Now Victor. Hustled all the way by Bannon. And David Neary coming across to play the ball out from Gerardo, the man from Las Palmas who hates the cold weather. Here's Calderi. Gerardo. It's blocked by Bannon. This is Migueli. Well taken by Thompson. Lineker hoping for a slip-up. And United building from the back with a throw out to Malpass. This is Bannon. Good challenge by Victor. There's the scoreline, telling a happy story this early in the match. Kevin Gallagher's goal. Migueli winning the high ball from Ferguson. There's McInally. A little bit too delicate, the flick from Ferguson. Victor seeing a lot of the ball now for Barcelona. Carrasco wandering across to the right this time. Lineker. Victor. Well, I think that was intended for Mark Hughes at the far side of the box, but it drifted in on Billy Thompson. That's Roberto. Moratalia playing it forward. Carrasco nodding it down. Here's Victor again. Now Carrasco. Hughes appeared to be holding up his man. Yes. John Holt gets the free kick. And Mark Hughes penalised, and that was reminiscent, of course, of the incident when he held off Alec McLeish at Hampden Park for Wales against Scotland in the World Cup. On that occasion there was no foul, and Ian Rush struck home the goal.
Well, that's one thing about Hughes, you know, he certainly lets defenders know he's about, doesn't he? You know, he's a very tenacious type of player, very strong.
This is Bannon for Dundee United. And a good effort. He saw the opportunity, Eamon Bannon. The scorer of 8 goals this season so far, including one magnificent effort on Saturday, and he saw the path opening up in front of him, hit that powerfully towards that far post. Gerardo. John Clark reacting quickly and recovering. And a fine pass to Stark. Cover coming back from Victor. That's for Kevin Gallagher. Manolo is with him. And the throw goes to United. Kevin Gallagher being given very little room in that tight corner by Manolo. Here's Stark. Making his way to the byline. Up goes Bannon! And some excellent defending by Gerardo, making life very difficult for Eamon Bannon. But that was a chance undoubtedly for United. A superb cross by Paul Sturrock. There was Bannon coming in with Gerardo, and the header is wide of the target.
It looked like a defender actually headed it wide there, Jock, didn't it? But again, good work by Sturrock. You know, he's popping up all over the place. He's having a super night.
Bannon lofting it forward. That should be a defender's ball. Gerardo. Victor again available wide on the right. It's picked up by McInally. Breaks for Malpass. McInally doing well to go and support on the left. Good play from McInally. The cover was there though for Barcelona. Provided by Gerardo. Lineker robbed by Neri. David Neri, undoubtedly the most famous United player as far as Spanish supporters are concerned, thanks to the goal against Brazil in Seville in the 1982 World Cup. Manolo heading it down for Calderi. There's Redford. That's for Ferguson. Moratalia's with him. No challenge there for Zubizarreta, the Spanish international goalkeeper. Calderi. Carrasco. Lineker and Hughes ahead of him. There's Lineker. Now Calderi again. Roberto playing it in. Up goes Thompson. And another fine piece of goalkeeping. Barcelona getting the ball wide. It was Roberto who played it in. And Thompson took it comfortably. So this time the foul was against Ian Ferguson. So a free kick to Barcelona. So 20 minutes now into the first half. United leading by 1-0. McGilley was the free kick. Up goes Neri. The tackle was by Jim McInally. No respecter of reputations going into that tackle on Carrasco. And the referee appears to have given a foul throw. It's not at all common for a European referee. There's Bannon. Now Sturrock. Crunching tackle from McGilley, but McInally trying to release Sturrock on the left. Well, it hasn't been Paul Sturrock's best season by any means so far, but he certainly is relishing the occasion tonight. Right back on international form. A loose clearance that from John Clark. Redford could make nothing of it. An upward spinning ball. There's Manolo, number 4. Hughes going back to Calderi. He seems to be involved in most of the build-up play for Barcelona. McGilley to Gerardo. Up goes John Holt. Now Gallagher. Being invited to go inside by Manolo, but Gallagher deceives him on the outside, and that's Moratalia. Sturrock challenging hard. He's been penalised. Paul Sturrock giving the Spanish defence no peace at all.
Well, they've got to do that, Jog. I think they've got to try and keep the pace of the game going, because, you know, the Spaniards would be happy if the pace dropped and, you know, players were allowed to stroll around and knock it around. But Paul Sturrock, you know, he's leading the charge up front there. He's buzzing around and he's putting everybody under pressure. And I think the United as a whole have got to keep this up.
There's John Holt's header, helped on by Redford. McInally. Redford. Shade casual with the pass. McInally picks it up again for United. This is Kevin Gallagher. Going outside Manolo. Moratalia in the way of the cross. There's Gallagher again, and Moratalia gets it back to Zubizarreta, but you certainly have the impression, Ian, that Kevin Gallagher fancies this fullback.
Well, he certainly does. I mean, he's got a nice little trick there where he pretends to come inside and then knock it with his right foot through the defender's legs. He's done it about 2 or 3 times, and it's working. His final ball has been disappointing. That's the only thing.
Gallagher's layoff. Redford was hoping that he was making the run into space. Calderi. Carrasco on the left again. Brought down by Holt. Another experienced campaigner in the United ranks, John Holt. But he's conceded the free kick. And looking to see if Barcelona are sending any of the tall defenders forward. They appear to be resisting that temptation. The referee wanting Kevin Gallagher a couple of yards further back. This is Mark Hughes. Tackled by Clark. Developing into a splendid young defender, John Clark. So the throw-in will eventually be taken by Gerardo. And Hughes again, guilty of a foul on the defender. This time it was Morris Malpass. Well, referee Casteran certainly appears to be very alert tonight. That's the story about Mark Hughes. So the throw taken now by Eamon Bannon for United. Not getting enough movement, or perhaps it's credit to the Barcelona defenders for being so diligent in their marking. Clark going in quickly on Lineker. Ian Ferguson penalised for a little push on Roberto as the ball was in the air. Ian Ferguson's first European match for Dundee United. Scored a couple, of course, against Inter Milan for Rangers. Victor. Roberto, well beaten by Redford. Bannon to Sturrock, taking on Roberto. Migueli and Gerardo together, but put under pressure. This is Carrasco. Now Victor. Tackled by Malpass. And Moratalia crunching into that tackle. Paul Sturrock was the victim, but the free kick had already been given against Morris Malpass. So all that was for nothing for Paul Sturrock. A heavy knock, but the free kick goes to Barcelona. Here's Calderi. Now Victor. He has Gerardo available inside. Good running by Lineker, followed by Neri. That'll be a corner kick to Barcelona. Well, this man Calderi, yeah, in midfield, a very impressive player.
Yes, he is. You know, they've got one or two very good players, but they're not a passing team. You know, they're individual players, I think.
So Carrasco again with the corner kick. Headed away by Redford. Oh, that's good play by Gallagher. Left Victor well behind. Slowing things up now. Barcelona getting defenders back. Still Kevin Gallagher with Gerardo. In the end, playing a hopeful ball inside. So having difficulty making up his mind, I think, Kevin Gallagher, as he went forward on the left.
But it was a good run nevertheless. You know, it meant that all the Barcelona players were running back towards their own goal, and there's nothing worse when you're playing in a game like this to be running back all the time. So, but what I was saying about Barcelona, they're very, very good individuals, but they don't seem to get the ball and knock it around, you know, and have 6 or 7 passes. It's a little, you know, flick here and a little pass there, and mainly they're very, very much an individual side.
Headed away by McInally. There's Gerardo. David Neary in the way. And the decision against David Neary for handball. Now, this is certainly dangerous for Dundee United, and we can watch here, I think, for the Barcelona number 10, Roberto. They may have 1 or 2 set pieces in mind, but the man with a rocket shot is Roberto. There he is, number 10, right in the thick of the action. Carrasco capable of sending a swerving shot toward the top corner. Victor also could play a delicate chip shot, but if it's to be a powerful one, it'll come from Roberto. So United acknowledging the Barcelona set-piece prowess with that substantial wall, and Lineker right in the middle of it. It certainly looks to be from the training ground. It's Carrasco flighting it. Well off target, but I think that may well be a tribute to the quality of the Dundee United wall. It must have been very well positioned, where Barcelona clearly fancied Roberto to have a firm shot at the ball.
Well, you say that, but really, if you're going to bend the ball and dip it over the wall, I think you've got to have a bit more pace in it than that one. He was very lackadaisical going to it.
Header by Roberto. So Dundee United still coping very well indeed with the multi-million-pound visitors from Barcelona. There's Paul Sturrock now on the right flank. He certainly has been allowed to wander. The stumble there and the handball, the free kick to Barcelona. Manolo playing it forward. Flipped inside by Carrasco. The referee waves play on. Now Gerardo. Left with no option but to play it back to his goalkeeper. Gerardo taking some instruction from the dugout. Here's Holt. No chance for Kevin Gallagher, but still that happy scoreline, 1-0 to Dundee United. Kevin Gallagher the scorer. Carrasco under pressure all the way. It was McInally with the decisive challenge in the end, and that's a fine pass from Redford. Sturrock. The early ball inside. Migueli is there for Barcelona. And already Barcelona owe something of a debt to their big number 3, Migueli. The most experienced player in the field, 35 years old, 30 caps. There's Migueli right in the heart of the defence, and he certainly has cut off a number of very good crosses. Here's Lineker. Immediately challenged and robbed of possession. Jim McInally. And Moratalia did well to play that out for the throw. He thinks he was fouled by Sturrock. The referee disagrees. The referee running into trouble, and it's picked up again by Moratalia. That's for Lineker. Good challenge by Clark. Roberto. Gerardo. Victor. Hughes. Malpass nodding it down. Victor maybe first to the ball. And Lineker trying to set that up for Roberto. That would have been a magnificent move had it come off. This is Victor. Back helping in defence is Ian Redford. There's Sturrock. Taking on Moritalia. He's bundled to the ground. The free kick's been given. It certainly was outside the box. Some faint hopes for a penalty kick, but it was undoubtedly outside the box. I'm sure the replay will confirm that. Sturrock racing through in that fine pass. Moritalia coming across. There was the foul. And certainly outside the box. So another opportunity for United. Ian Redford, number 11, is over the ball. I wonder if Eamon Bannon may become involved in this set piece. But he's way at the far side of the box. And John Clark is signalling for the ball. So here's Lineker. Collected by Malpass. There's Holt. Good wide pass, picking up Bannon on the right. United with lots of men forwards. Bannon looking for Gallagher. Back inside now to Redford. That's towards Ian Ferguson. Closely marked all the way in by Gerardo. Another good piece of defending by the fullback. This is Carrasco. Now Victor. Good play from Victor. And the shot from Carrasco, well taken by Thompson. But that was Barcelona in flowing form coming forward. Mark Hughes playing a key role in the build-up.
Well, that was far better stuff as far as Barcelona were concerned, Jock. You know, nice little passing movement there, and really a bit of a chance, I thought.
So Billy Thompson doing well for Dundee United, getting down quickly to his left. This is Carrasco again, the man who had the shot. Now Roberto. Hughes. Victor. Swept away by Clark. Sturrock was being pushed, but he did well for United. And the foul is against Ian Ferguson. Well, that appears to be a little bit harsh on the United striker. The indication is that he pushed the defender. So the play switched to the far side. Number 4 is Manolo. There's John Clark. Hopeful one forward. Moritalia wins it. There's Redford again. Well, I think he was trying to play that wide for Gallagher. Carrasco. Well tackled by Bannon. Pass finds Sturrock. That's for Gallagher. Too far ahead. But Paul Sturrock showing lots of confidence in the ball. And how about that from John Clark? Young defender settling in to European football. And Gerardo giving the Canadice fans at the wrong angle some hopes there as he lofted it back to Zubizarreta. So again, that's Hughes who's penalised, leaning and pushing into John Holt.
The referee actually is having a word with him there, you know, for persistent fouling, I should think, Jock, because, you know, that must be half a dozen times he's done that in the evening.
Well, that's in fact the second word he's had with Hughes. He spoke to him in the first minute. There's John Clark hoisting a high ball forward. Gerardo, and it's Eamon Bannon who got up so well. A long way out for the header. Bannon not renowned for his heading prowess, getting up well. Moritalia has all the time in the world to play that back to Zubizarreta. But United persisting with 3 men up. Ian all the time and letting Malpass support the midfield whenever he can.
That's right. I mean, I don't think we can criticise United in this first half. I think they've put a lot of effort in. You know, they tried to get forward, and you know, if sometimes the final ball into the box has been not what was required. But having said that, it's been a good performance.
So Manolo. Malpass being very careful. Looking for Ferguson. Good challenge by Moratalia. Roberto back to Gerardo. Now Carrasco. A very elusive runner, Carrasco. An offside flag was up against Gary Lineker. So the free kick taken short, quickly back to Billy Thompson. Manolo with Gallagher. Gallagher got a touch. Good header by Carrasco. This is Mark Hughes, now Victor. Barcelona now with 5 men up in support of Victor. One of them is Hughes. The tackle came in from David Neri. Quite content to concede the corner kick and allow United to regroup in defence. Moratalia coming forward, the big number 6, right into the near post area. It's Victor this time with the corner. Headed away by Redford. Ian Ferguson coming back to put pressure on Carrasco. Now McGilly. And that's Kevin Gallagher back in defence. Gerardo playing it in. Touched on by Lineker. Roberto tried the return pass. There's Calderi. Lineker again going up. Neri hooking the ball clear. Carrasco looking for Calderi again. There's John Holt. Good play from Holt. He has Sturrock inside. Support coming from Redford. That's towards Gallagher now on the left for United. With Victor. And the free kick is given against the Barcelona skipper. Maybe a shade unfortunate on that occasion, I think. Victor. And Ian Redford has come across to take this left-footed. John Clark has pushed forward again into the box to use his height. Redford sending it across to the far side. Up goes Bannon with Moratalia. And Calderi now has space to create something for Barcelona. Hughes robbed by Clark. Well, Ian, you may not have seen a great deal of John Clark, but what do you make of this young man?
Well, actually, I've seen a couple of games this year, sitting in the office watching a live game coming from Scotland, and United were playing, and I was very impressed with him then, but not as impressed as tonight. He's doing really well. He's looking like Alan Hansen.
Here's Victor for Barcelona. Ian St. John showing his Liverpool bias, perhaps. Carrasco's cross, a chance now for Barcelona. They're queuing up on the line. And a lucky break for Billy Thompson. He did very well indeed to block that. He's congratulated by Carrasco. Well, they were queuing up for this one. There was the back heeler. A chance which Gary Lineker would score 9 times out of 10. And Thompson saves the day for United.
Well, I mean, you've got to say that as a let-off, isn't it? You know, that to get the ball there, you know, on his own, 6 yards out, and he hits the goalkeeper with it. I mean, that has got to be the miss of the season.
Well, now, I wonder if that can be yet another boosted on the United in the end. And that away goal, of course, would have been crucial in the event of a tight finish to the tie in the Nou Camp Stadium in 2 weeks' time. So, undoubtedly, a major let-off for Dundee United.
You know, the one criticism of Lineker when he played at Leicester and at Everton was that he would get into those positions in a game, you know, so many times and would miss the easy ones, Jock, you know, but he would also get in so often that he would score goals. And, you know, don't write him off, because, I mean, he just shrugs that off and he could come again.
This is Mark Hughes. Roberto challenging McAnally. It was Roberto's little back heeler which set up the chance for Lineker, and look, McAnally's been penalised. Roberto is the man ordered off the weekend. A very impressive midfield player. Yes, Carrasco. McGilly's run was spotted by Ferguson. Here's Sturrock. They got a touch, but Gerardo provided depth for Barcelona. And the linesman's flag stayed down to the horror of some of the United defenders. Here's Ian Ferguson. Gallagher's onside. No, the referee reacting to the linesman's flag. Well, there couldn't have been a great deal in that. A fine flighted pass to Gallagher.
It was actually Sturrock, I think, Jock, that was offside there. It certainly wasn't Gallagher, because as you can see, he's running from deep, and there was a defender on goal side of him, so it was Paul Sturrock who was the offside man there.
Well, the free kick certainly was taken from Kevin Gallagher's position. Yes, Sturrock appears to be the man offside. Promising move from United. Holt to the clearance. There goes Ferguson. Moratalia was first to the ball. Now McGilley tried to play that forward with the outside of the right boot. Didn't quite come off. So the throw on the far side will be taken by John Holt. United still leading by 1-0. Moratalia has the road to Zubizarreta, cut off by Sturrock. Gerardo careless with the pass back. Well, Paul Sturrock made the situation difficult as he cut off the road to Zubizarreta, but Gerardo really should have been able to cope with that. So a corner kick to United, and a bonus undoubtedly. Paul Sturrock taking the corner. Now Mark Hughes with the acrobatic clearance. John Holt anxious to get the ball back, but there's a good accurate pass. Fine ball to Bannon. McInally making the run. It's Moratalia. And the linesman eventually indicating a corner kick and changing his mind in concert with the referee. Well, it looked as though it had gone over with Moratalia, but in the end it came off Jim McInally and the goal kick's been given. There's Jim McInally, still able to smile in the heat of the battle. So we're going into the final minute of the first half. Ian, overall a very good United first half performance.
I think I would agree with you on that one, yes, certainly. You know, sparked off by this man here, Paul Sturrock, who's got everybody going up the front. I would like to have seen just that final ball into the box played with a little bit more precision.
Here's Kevin Gallagher, the chance at the right of the corner of the box. It came in towards Ferguson, and Zubizarreta showing his class with a fine diving save. So United looking for the second goal just on the interval. But I'm quite sure they'll be happy to go in the lead, and that's a bad tackle by Victor. Maurice Malpas didn't appreciate it. And referee Casaran is going to have a word with the Barcelona captain. So still no yellow cards from Senor Casaran, but a stern lecture for Victor, and the free kick to United, taken by Malpas. Nodded on by Bannon, but there was a bit of pushing going on at the edge of the box. Bannon was a culprit, and Barcelona have the free kick. No fancy over the piece. Jim McLean will not be at all unhappy to go out at half-time, a goal ahead.
I think they've just got to be careful. A little bit of Victor wide on the right-hand side there, Joe.
So there goes the half-time whistle. A splendid opening 45 minutes from Dundee United, carrying the fight to Barcelona. The opening goal in 2 minutes from Kevin Gallagher. We'll take a short break, and you can rejoin us with Arthur Montford and our studio panel in a couple of minutes. So welcome back to Tannadice. We're straight into the second half. It just kicked off. Referee Castellan obviously in a hurry to get on with things. A very brief interval, but it's Paul Sturrock going forward for United on the left. Taking on Gerardo, making for the byline, pulling it back. It's behind Ian Ferguson. Superb play again from Paul Sturrock, but no luck when the cross came in. And here's Billy Thompson well out of his goal to clear upfield. Well, what a start to the second half, and we must apologise, of course, for not being able to show you that Gary Lineker miss during the interval, which Senor Casaran restricted to the bare minimum. But no doubt we may have the chance to see it later. So let's hope we can also see some goals from Dundee United. Here's Roberto. An offside flag is up against Mark Hughes. So free kick to United. So no change in either lineup at the interval. As Eamon Bannon goes up well again with Gerardo to win the high ball. But again, too far out to put pressure on Zubizarreta. Good tackle again from Jim McInally. Well, Ian, your thoughts for the second half for United?
Well, I mean, as we said before, United have just got to keep the whole thing going. As far as Barcelona are concerned, they wouldn't be very unhappy, I don't think, about a 1-0 defeat, but I think they would love to obviously get in terms. I see they've got Victor playing on the left side this second half, so obviously a bit of a tactical ploy there by Terry Venables.
So here's Mark Hughes giving that away to Sturrock. Now McInally. Bannon. Forward towards Sturrock. Moratalia in with a quick challenge. Bannon going down in the challenge with Hughes. No free kick. Manolo playing it forward. Good touch on by Hughes. And a free kick given against Mark Hughes that time. Now I think on that occasion the Barcelona striker was unlucky. Well, a third word of warning for Mark Hughes. But I must confess to having some sympathy with him on that occasion. So the free kick will be taken by John Clark. Pumping that high ball into the box again. Zubizarreta is committed, punching it clear. Roberto. Victor on the left. The start of the second half. Hughes sending it back to Victor. A hopeful ball towards Lineker, and Neri wins it comfortably for United. This is Carrasco. Gerardo goes up on the outside. There's Carrasco. A good cross, well taken by Thompson. But the number 7 for Barcelona looking very impressive as he went forward that time. And there's Paul Sturrock. United anxious to get Sturrock involved at every opportunity. There's Gallagher. No offside flag. That was a chance for Kevin Gallagher. Well, the ball was bending away from him, and what an opportunity it was. He was just inches away. See the ball swerving forward, just too far ahead of Gallagher.
It was one of those, John, where really the boy had to launch himself at, you know, possibly even go for a header, and maybe get a diving header in.
Here's Jim McInally. Victor McInally again, tremendous tackler in midfield. Ian Ferguson doing well, stealing the ball from Moratalia. Pulling it back, Miguel is there for Barcelona, but that's the kind of spirit which United have been displaying right from the start. Good play from Ian Ferguson. Sometimes accused of not being too industrious up front, but that couldn't be levelled against them tonight. There's Manolo with the throw. Calderé going inside. Linking with Lineker. Gerardo provides the option forward. That's a good pass to Gerardo. This is dangerous for United. Well, perhaps fortunate it was a fullback in that wide position. And United now have the chance to strike in the break with Sturrock. Sturrock using Bannon as a decoy. There's Neri forward. Now McInally. Well tackled by Roberto. Mark Hughes trying to keep the ball in play. Well, Hughes taking some more treatment from the Tannadice fans. Played out there by Gallagher. Tremendous experience for the youngster. Roberto losing control. McInally steps in. Here's Gallagher. Using his pace to get away from Roberto. A chance for Sturrock. frustration for Paul Sturrock. But superb play here from Kevin Gallagher. Sturrock racing into the end of that cross, launching himself at it and turning it just wide of the post.
Well, if he never wished he was 6 feet tall, I bet he wished it was tonight, because that's all he was, just a matter of, what, an inch away from getting a good connection there. But a great move. It's a terrific play by Dundee United.
Up goes McInally. Here's Carrasco. Bannon kept his eye on the ball. Gerardo. Now Roberto. Manolo. Got up by Holt for United. Running out Manolo. Kevin Gallagher needs to get a touch, and Gerardo was in the way. Here's Carrasco. Barcelona on the break. They have Lineker and Hughes up with Caldery on the left. Caldery going inside. There's Mark Hughes setting it up for Caldery again. Hughes trying to make room for the shot, and that was a clumsy challenge, all right. John Clark, just a little bit rash. His lack of experience perhaps showing in that occasion. But this is very dangerous indeed for Dundee United.
I mean, that's exactly what you don't want to do. You don't want to give them free kicks on the edge of the box. Usually they're so good at them. I always get a little bit of fear, Jock, when I see balls, free kicks from this area.
So Victor orchestrating things at the edge of the box. Confidence there with Roberto and Caldery, and with Mark Hughes earlier. Lineker is also hovering. Carrasco coming across. Watch for the power from Roberto, or the deft touch from Victor or Carrasco. And the wall did his job well. Victor trying to ease the ball into space for Roberto's shot. He hit it powerfully enough, all right, but the wall stood firm. Danger's not yet over, though, for United. There's Lineker. Caldery again. A snap shot. But the alert figure of Billy Thompson on the United line picks it up. Holt taking no chances, sending it straight back to his keeper. Header from McGilley, returned by Malpass. That's Bannon. Moratalia. McInally at full stretch, doing well again for United in midfield. Now Sturrock. Bannon with a return pass that appeared to strike an arm. Referee Kasdarin doesn't want to know about it. Well, howls for a penalty kick against Migueli. Well, that first time pass played against the defender. And I wonder what view the referee took of that. So a let-off perhaps for Barcelona. Perhaps referee Kasdarin deciding that the ball struck the player. Ian, do you think that was a bit unlucky for United?
Well, looking from here, immediately we thought, that was a case of the ball striking his arm and it was a penalty kick, but, the referee saw it differently and play on.
Referees notoriously reluctant to give penalty kicks in European ties. Although in all fairness, that might well have been deemed to be a rather soft one had it been given. Here's McInally. Now Redford. And Jim McLean, the Dundee United manager, hasn't reacted to the switch of Victor from right midfield to left. He's left his midfield as it was in the first half. And there's one reason why, perhaps. Fine play by Bannon. Malpass now to Sturrock. Sturrock playing it across. It's too high for Gallagher.
I think the reason he probably put Victor there was because Gallagher was having such a good game in the first 45 minutes, charging down the right-hand side, and maybe Terry's thought, well, we'll put Victor there and try and block that hole off and stop the service going to Gallagher. But he's still playing well, the boy, isn't he?
Yes, a good performance from Kevin Gallagher, and Barcelona also allowing Carrasco to stay on the right flank with Victor now on the left. Carrasco normally more comfortable there. Here's Ian Ferguson, and that was just stolen from him. Good defending by Moratalia. And the free kick's been given for the challenge by Ian Ferguson. Moratalia, the defender, fouled. Here's Hughes. He's been allowed to turn by Holt. He's away from McInally. So powerful going forwards. And splendid play by Jim McInally in the heart of the United midfield. Headed away by McGilley. This is Bannon. Again looking for Gallagher. Well, Kevin Gallagher's had a number of high balls to challenge for, and he certainly is by no means a tall player. This is Eamon Bannon. Chip forward for Sturrock, who's offside. The flag was up immediately on the near side. A very delicately flighted pass nevertheless. Oh, there's Carrasco at his best, going away from Bannon. Inside to Calderé, and it's Jim McInally once again. Here's Ferguson. Support in midfield from Redford. Now Sturrock. Keeping up pace as he goes forward, and McGilley kept his eye on the ball to take it from Sturrock. There's Carrasco. Now Gerardo. Victor forced to come back to collect the ball for Barcelona. This is Manolo. John Clark calling to John Holt to leave it. Prudence picked up by Moratalia, and now Manolo. Roberto, very much the anchor man in midfield, in the centre of the field for Barcelona, allowing Calderé to charge forward. That looked to be a foul, but the referee allowing play to go on as Barcelona retain possession. Carrasco, a little shuffle to try to get away from McInally. And the ball was out. A throw to United. So a reminder that United lead by 1-0. Kevin Gallagher in 2 minutes. There's the caption to tell the story. Barcelona coming forward again. And Dundee United, of course, in the second half, mindful of the away goals rule. Well, it's important to score at home. It's also vital not to give anything away. Hughes couldn't keep it in play. Well, Mark Hughes shouting to his colleague Carrasco. I wonder what language he used. Here's Ferguson. Gallagher. Turned out by Manolo. That was Roberto. Up goes Holt. Roberto again. Hughes holding off Clark. That's a good pass from Hughes. Victor has crossed to the right flank for the moment. Gerardo going on the outside. That's for Calderé, and McInally snapping at his heels. Victor playing it towards Lineker. And David Neary standing in no ceremony, thumping it behind for the corner kick. Neary normally being the man delegated to keep a very close eye on Gary Lineker. Very pacey defender, of course, Neary, against the electric speed of Gary Lineker. It's Carrasco again with the in-swing. Well, you really have the impression that Billy Thompson will catch these all night. Gallagher going up with Gerardo. Oh, there was going to be one winner in that little duel. There's Bannon now with a throw. Malpass. McInally. Redford coming short. McInally probing still for an opening. Well, that's good play from McInally. Now Redford. Gallagher's in space. The pass is too strong. Well, some excellent play there at the edge of the box from Jim McInally of Dundee United.
Been very impressed with McInally in midfield. He's very strong tackler, wins a lot of ball, but you know, it looks as if he's got a good touch as well, Jock, and doesn't want to waste the ball. He's always looking, you know, to make some sort of use when he's got it, and looks a fine young player.
A long ball from Zubizarreta, won by Holt. Bannon's first time pass, too big a hurry perhaps. He had more time than he realised, I think, to control that. Gerardo towards Carrasco. Hughes takes over. And Neri heading away as Victor jumped in with a challenge. Well, Neri seems unruffled by it all. And the referee having a long-range word again with Victor. Well, he's quite content to give lectures tonight. 7 of these Barcelona players already on a booking, so another booking would mean any of these players that they would miss the second leg in 2 weeks' time. Moratalia put under pressure by Gallagher. That's certainly been a feature of the United play. They've been hustling right from the first minute, right through the team. Sturrock back to Holt. Difficult one for the keeper. There's Bannon. And Ferguson appeared to be pushed in the box, but it's still United coming forward, and again appeals for handball against Victor. And again referee Casarin waves United players away. Well, again the ball thumped into the Barcelona defender at close range, and again it looked more a case of the ball striking the man. Header wide by Migueli, and a burst of vocal support for Dundee United. Here's Malpass, brought down by Carrasco. Carrasco's explanation is that he was trying to play the ball, but it doesn't impress referee Casaran. And he's also having a word with Paul Sturrock. So Casaran, the referee, completing the paperwork. He appeared to book Carrasco.
I think he was asking Paul Sturrock how you spell it.
There's Sturrock with the free kick. Headed out by McGilly. Gallagher trying to beat the offside trap. Pulled down by Moratalia. And Gallagher showing great composure for one so young. He noticed the Barcelona defence charging out, trying to wriggle through them on his own. Well, brought down by Moratalia for the free kick. Now we have the first opportunity to see the shooting power, perhaps, of John Clark. Having a chat with Ian Redford, and clearly Barcelona have done their homework. They know all about John Clark. 4-man wall, it's fully 30 yards out. Redford is also there. It's Redford who takes it. Well, trying to put a curve on the shot to get it beyond the wall. So the clearance from Zubizarreta. And it's Gerardo. And once again making Zubizarreta work very hard indeed. And the message from the goalkeeper, plain for all to see. Calderi. Carrasco supporting now on the left. The first time cross to the far post. Thompson has come out. He's in trouble this time. Victor with Malpass. A hefty collision, and the free kick goes to Dundee United. So Victor is penalised as he tried to return the ball quickly, with Thompson looking stranded for a moment. Missed by Gerardo and Sturrock. Migueli clearing it. This is Victor. Tangling with McInally. Such a superb tackler, Jim McInally. That's nodded down by Malpass, collected by Bannon. McInally again, Neary dropping back. McGilly charging forward to beat Gallagher to the ball. Here's Redford. Now Ferguson. Good pass from Ferguson. Bannon's in space on the left. He appeared to carry the ball over. Yes! The flag has gone up. Just a brief lapse in concentration there by Eamon Bannon, allowing the ball to go over the touchline. A promising situation for Dundee United is brought to an end, and Barcelona have possession. McInally quickly into the tackle again. Well, they're doing well for Barcelona. Now Gerardo. Well, they're playing a 1-2 with the referee. Well, he's got it back eventually. Hughes to Carrasco. Holt is beaten. That came off John Clark, but United were exposed for a moment there by Carrasco's talent on the left. Here's Ian Ferguson. Sturrock coming across to the right. Well, hoping to find Kevin Gallagher. Zubizarreta's in trouble, but the referee penalising Gallagher. So still United leading by that early goal from Kevin Gallagher. They've had a couple of opportunities in the second half to increase their lead. A couple of hopeful penalty appeals turned down. Clark's header. McGilly winning it from Ferguson, but the loose ball is picked up by Bannon. That was intended for Sturrock. Good positioning though by Gerardo. And referee Casteran penalising Eamon Bannon. So the short free kick. Here's Roberto. And the pass heading clear. Gerardo in front of Sturrock. Bannon couldn't reach the header from Malpass. Barcelona coming forward again. Victor has switched back to the right. Mark Hughes has been involved in so many build-ups for Barcelona, trying to work his way along the byline. He carried the ball over, and that's a goal kick to United. Well, you certainly can't fault Mark Hughes in terms of work rate, Ian.
Well, he's working all right, but he's not playing nearly as well as he did with Manchester United. You know, I don't know why he doesn't seem to have adapted as well as Lineker to the Spanish game, and you know, I think he's got more talent than he's been showing us in the past 6 months.
Bannon robbed by Roberto. McInally going in with a tackle, but it breaks for Victor. Lineker is off through the middle. Billy Thompson smartly off his line. Malpass to Sturrock. Victor getting back to help out Gerardo, who's found Sturrock a very hot handful indeed. Here's McInally showing his confidence on the ball. Careless one forward. He was looking for Gallagher. This is Victor. Carrasco. Victor holding off Gallagher. And Kevin Gallagher showing lots of determination, getting his reward now, but he's been penalised by referee Casteran. Well, he certainly was bustling around Victor, but may feel he could have got away with that. Nevertheless, a free kick to Barcelona, and Victor certainly realising that he's in a game tonight, all right.
I was just thinking that, Jock, actually. He's been very much involved, Victor. You know, he's probably been their best player, but he works and works the whole time. He's a very good player, good inspiration from the skipper.
Hughes with the pass inside. Calderay takes over. There's Lineker. Now Victor. Not quite what he intended, I'm sure, but it gives United the chance to break. There's space to work in. Here's Sturrock. Well, the final pass from Paul Sturrock once again going astray and ending a promising build-up from Dundee United. Now Calderay playing it through the middle for Lineker. John Clark was there. Here's Malpass. Playing it safely wide, away from Lineker to Thompson.
That's the first time tonight, really, that Barcelona have looked to play a ball over the top. And really, you never see Lineker in the game, do you? I mean, I don't think, Jock, that you've mentioned him more than 2 or 3 times throughout the match. He's never really in it, but if he gets one over the top like that, that's when he's at his most dangerous.
And still, of course, to break his European duck. 7th match this season for Barcelona. He hasn't found the net yet. And here's some action on the substitutes bench. Off goes Kevin Gallagher, who's worked so very hard, and the replacement is young Paul Kinnaird. So the former Norwich City striker Paul Kinnaird is on to replace Kevin Gallagher and give United a fresh pair of legs in attack. Here's McGilly coming forward. Good play from the big defender. And Kinnaird was brought down by Victor. McAnally anxious to get on with things. He has Bannon free on the left. Here's Kinnaird. He's gone straight across to the left of the United attack. Ferguson now favouring the right. Stark is through the middle. There's Gerardo. Here's Kinnaird again, taking the pass from Malpass. And a good header out, a very important one for Barcelona by Moratalia. Calderay finding Carrasco. Barcelona getting men forward quickly now in support of this attack. That's for Lineker. Hustled all the way by Clark. And United getting men back well. Redford, a tireless worker in midfield. The feature of the United team is the running power of the midfield trio of Bannon, Redford and McAnally. It was a good tackle on Sturrock by Moratalia. Roberto playing it wide. There's McAnally again. Playing it inside for Holt. Kinnaird is free over on the far side. Holt preferring Ferguson on the right. Bannon arriving late in the box. The cross a shade too high. Here's Victor. Stamina plus, Victor. Quite incredible amount of running he gets through in a match. Holt playing it wide for Ferguson. Ferguson coming inside, always anxious to get a shot on target, Ian Ferguson. 22 goals he scored this season so far. He wasn't eligible for United in any of the earlier rounds in the UEFA Cup this season, following his transfer at the beginning of the season for £145,000. So quarter of an hour left. It's Dundee United 1, Barcelona 0 as Bannon storms forward again for United. Trying to catch out Zubizarreta. Well, the scoreline as Bannon tried to change that with the long-range effort. Hughes playing it short to Calderay. This is Lineker. And a fine punching tackle from John Clark. Manolo with a short throw to Carrasco. And Ian Ferguson making the tackle. Sturrock holding off Moratalia. Ferguson again. Redford closing in on the defender. And the free kick has been given. The whistle going quietly. Redford acknowledges that. Moratalia going down. Here's Roberto. Now Migueli. Carrasco. Roberto. Good play from Barcelona. Passing movement. Roberto at the edge of the box. United perhaps a shade slow in getting someone to go to him. He's the man with a reputation for these shots from the edge of the box. And it was Neri in the end who went to close him down, and Roberto hooked it wide.
They really haven't had many chances at all this half, Barcelona, and actually had a man wide there he might have slipped the ball to, but he tried one himself, and as you said there, Jock, about a yard wide. But you know, they've got to be careful, United.
There's a very important phase in the match. Mark Hughes making progress on the left. Tackled again by John Clark. Here's Ferguson. Can United get the second goal, which would give them so much hope for the trip to Spain in 2 weeks' time? Malpass. Kinnaird. Lining up the cross to the far side. Bannon is there, but that's an easy one for Zubizarreta. Now Carrasco. The whole complexion of the tie could change if Barcelona could get an away goal in the closing minutes. Here's John Holt. Being allowed to come a long way forward. It's Sturrock who provides the angle. Away from Manolo. Chested down by Kinnaird towards Ferguson. Down he goes. A hopeful appeal again. And the decision goes Barcelona's way. And a yellow card being shown to Ian Ferguson. Now clearly the referee has decided that Ferguson dived. So an ungentlemanly conduct verdict by referee Casaran. And Ian Ferguson shakes his head.
Well, I must say, Jock, I wouldn't have agreed with the referee in that one. You know, I thought the lad went for the ball. He played it beyond the defender, and he's fighting him for it. And I think it was a case of he got his arm pulled. You know, he got his arm pulled maybe a yard away from the ball, and he went down. But I don't think he was actually claiming a penalty.
Well, referee Casaran certainly being very strict with that decision. And there's a free kick to Barcelona again. Kinaird's challenge on Gerardo. So again, some anxious moments for the United defence. Carrasco lofting it into the box towards Victor. Played away by Malpass. Moratalia. This is Migueli. Migueli, a very important defender tonight for Barcelona, holding the defence together. Brilliantly taken down by Hughes. Carrasco. Checking inside McInally, looking for support. It comes from Migueli, coming from the back into midfield. Victor holding off Malpass. Migueli is still up. Calderé towards Roberto. That's Migueli. Down he goes, and appeals this time from the Spanish players. Migueli can't believe it. He thinks he was fouled inside the box. And here's Sturrock, he's offside at the other end. So howls of disapproval from the United fans. But really, Ian, I wonder if United were a bit fortunate here. There's Migueli going for the flick on from Roberto. Playing it beyond John Holt. Well, that could easily have been a penalty kick.
Easily, yes, definitely. Easily could have been a penalty kick. But the referee, you know, as you said earlier in your commentary, a bit reluctant to give penalty kicks in European ties. But well done, the big defender. I mean, he carried on with the move, didn't he? And got in there. I think he again made a bit of a meal of it. But I would have think the referee would have given a foul if it had been outside the box.
Well, that, of course, is the yardstick for whether or not it should be a penalty kick. So a let-off in my book, certainly, and I think Ian St John may agree with that for Dundee United. Manolo's throw. Carrasco carried the ball over. John Holt now with the throw. Ian, it's a very interesting phase now. United 1 goal up. Do they hang on to that, make sure they lose nothing at the back, or should they press for the second goal?
Well, it's a decision that Jim McLean's got to make here, but it looks to me as if he's asking them to go out and try and get a second goal, because the game has been strung out in the last 5 or 10 minutes. you know, been end-to-end stuff, and I think Jim's wanting that second goal.
That header from Redford, falling for Victor. Valderey. Hustled out of it by Malpass. Handball by the Barcelona player. The referee allows play to continue with United in possession. Neat play from Kinnaird and from McInally. Bannon now to Redford. Kinnaird at full stretch. He didn't make it. The flag is up. I think Paul Kinnaird knows full well the ball was over. No protest from the youngster. Scottish Youth International. Straight to Norwich City as a youngster. Back now with Malpass. This is Redford. Inside to Bannon. Ferguson. Appeared to be a couple of United players offside, although the flag stayed down on that occasion. Here's Carrasco. Manolo. Hughes. Carrasco running with McInally inevitably back there to cover. Well, we've mentioned Victor being tireless. I think that would also apply to Jim McInally. Italia nodding it and collecting his own header. Redford quickly into the tackle on Carrasco.
Carrasco's one of those players, you know, that would drive you mad, I think, if you played with him, Jock. He's got so much talent, but, you know, he's always trying to do clever things, and he always loses it in dangerous areas and fannies around with it, as we would say in the game. And, you know, for a fellow with his amount of skill, he should really be doing a bit more.
Valderey to Hughes. Hughes going down, and the referee sees that as a foul by John Clark. So there's Hughes, who's certainly been working, going to the flanks, trying to link up with his midfield. Valderey lining up the long-range shot. John Holt was in the way. Back with Manolo. Now Carrasco. Billy Thompson must make that for United. And despite the presence of Mark Hughes, he makes it in very convincing fashion. Spinning off the head of Migueli. Bannon picks up the loose ball, trying the early cross, gets a second chance. Can Ferguson make that? Well, they appear to be sandwiched between Manolo and Moratalia. But the referee clearly not interested, and there's a foul by John Clark on Hughes. So here was Bannon's cross. Now just look for Ferguson between the two defenders. He really had no chance at all to get off the ground. And it came off Manolo back to the keeper. So the free kick to Barcelona. John Clark penalised for a rash challenge. The referee insisting it's taken from the right spot. Another lesson in Europe for John Clark. There's Redford. Sweeping pass, picks up Paul Sturrock. He has Bannon at his heels, offering him an option on the outside. Ferguson in the middle, Kinnaird arriving late. Well, I wonder if there are signs of fatigue now setting into the legs of Paul Sturrock. Here's Victor. Lineker. It breaks for Hughes. Well, a glimpse there of Gary Lineker, and suddenly there was danger for Dundee United. Hughes snatching at that ricochet.
Well, here we are, we're into the last 5 minutes of the game, and Gary Lineker trying an effort there, and Hughes almost connecting there as he slid to the floor. But, Jock, we were saying there, you know, should United try to hang on, and, you know, I think maybe at this stage of the game now, 1-0 is a terrific result for them, and I think they should be more than careful.
Now Ian Ferguson. Ball played in towards Sturrock. Inches away, although again carefully marked all the way by Gerardo. Defenders frequently don't get credit for this kind of marking, but there was Ferguson flighting the ball in. Sturrock going for the ball, closely followed by Gerardo, and he couldn't quite make it. So 4 minutes left. Still 1-0 to Dundee United. Sturrock going at Gerardo. Pulling it back again, the chance for United, and Redford hooks it over. Well, once again, the United men going too close in goal for Sturrock. He's always intended pulling this back from the byline, and you'll see the men in Tangerine very close into goal. It was Redford who reacted quicker than anyone else to try to turn the ball in goal.
You know, sometimes when the game gets to this stage, you know, midfield players get a little bit anxious and they get in too close to goal. You know, had they been on the edge of the box here moving in, Jock, that would have been a chance.
Here's Calderé for Barcelona. And a good dummy by Bannon, giving space for Malpas. Careless one from Bannon. Victor picks it up. And cool defending once again from young John Clark. What a match he's had tonight alongside David Neary. Calderé. Here's Hughes. That's towards Lineker. Good marking by Malpas. Malpas and Neary keeping a very close eye on Lineker, picking up the run early. Played back from long range of Moritalia. Well, Ian, 1-0 to United, the closing minutes. Overall, though, I think we'd agree a fine performance.
Well, they certainly deserved to be a goal up. In fact, it could have been 2 or 3 goals up. And mind you, if you take Gary Lineker's miss, maybe you could say maybe 3-1 would have been a good score line. But they've played terrific. I've been very surprised at the quality of the football. You know, I think they've knocked the ball around, played good attacking football, always wanted to go forward. And defensively, you know, I think when you look at the centre-backs and Holt, the way they've handled Lineker and Hughes, you know, all credit to them. I think they've been superb as well. And Billy Thompson in goal, who anything he's had to deal with, mainly crosses, he's come out and handled everything very, very well.
So it's Barcelona trying to get forward again. This is Victor. Threading the ball through, but John Clark is there for United. There's Moritalia. Lucky, I think, there to find a colleague with that clearance. It's Gerardo. And now Manolo. Moritalia. Played forward by McGilly. Headed on by Roberto. Here's Victor. Up goes John Clark. United must be completely diligent in these closing minutes. A 1-0 victory would give them a fighting chance in Barcelona, but a 1-1 draw really would give them a mountain to climb. Back with Manolo. Well, it looks as though the word has come from the United dugout to hold what they have and make sure there are no slip-ups late on. There's Moritalia with a pass back. Inside the final minute of the match now. As Zubizarreta sends the long ball forward, it's won by Holt. Here's McInally. Bannon asking for the ball in the inside left position. Here's Sturrock. This could be a last chance for United to make it 2. Carrasco getting back to cover. Sturrock gets it across at the second attempt. Coming all the way through to Kinnaird. Nudged away. There's Bannon. Snapshot, and it's covered all the way by Zubizarreta. For a determined attack toward the final whistle by Dundee United. Good play this from Bannon, easing himself away from Roberto, turning the shot on target, but the positioning of Zubizarreta was good. And in fact, there goes the final whistle. In the end, the goal in 2 minutes from Kevin Gallagher, giving United that slender lead to take to Barcelona in 2 weeks' time. But they